Hey, here is how we are managing cores when viewing or editing a product in the back end of Odoo. We'll just open up products here. And let's grab, this is a good example because it's a remanufactured injector. So in this case, the core charge from the manufacturer would not be charged. So this would have come with no core charge on it because it's a reman. But when selling it, we're going to charge a core charge on it in expectation that the customer is going to return their core and we can give them a core back and then we can get their core remanufactured. So um, that is an important detail to cover. So the reason I wanted to cover that specific scenario is because you can see there's a new field here that says core rule for sales. And specifically, it's for sales for this just to make sure that when you're choosing this, like which is the best option. So if you look here under the help file, it says choose the best fit when selling the product, leave blank if the core is not applicable. So if core isn't applicable, just leave it blank. But this is for sales because sometimes you might have a situation where you have, in this case, a remanufactured injector where the core rule when you're purchasing it is no core, but the core rule when you sell it is you're selling it with a core charge. So that's why it says for sales. So I wanted to make sure that was clear. Now let's go through the options that come along with this new field. So you can leave it blank. So if cores aren't applicable, leave it blank. No core would be a situation where you're selling an item and it would normally have a core, but for some reason there's no core charge on it, then you can label it as no core. So that's what that's there for. I'm going to skip core required over to is a core. Is a core would mean that this item that we're on is an actual core. So the SKU would be EX635919 core. So that's what you would do. So you can just indicate when things are cores this way. And we should be able to remove the thing up here where we're saying core required on the primary product, which I guess we'll get to when we get to the next option here, which is core required. So if a product requires a core when you're selling it, which this one does, then you would want to check this box if you were creating or editing this product. And you can see when I did that, that these two fields appeared. So I'll show you that again. So there's only core rule for sales here. And now if I say core is required, now you have auto create core and you have core SKU. Now the difference between these fields is it will, so you could go to the core SKU and you could start adding or creating the core. So 635, which it already exists, it's right here. So you're just going to add it. If it didn't exist, you would be creating and editing it. But to speed things up for you, we just did this. So this will find the core associated to this product. If it exists, if it does not, it will create it. And once it's created, you're able to go in and edit the newly created item if you need to. So let's give that a try. So let's start from the beginning here. So let's say you're editing, or I'll just click save here too, editing or creating this product, and it requires a core. You come here and you click on core required. You activate the find create core. It found it. It added it here. You could always link into it. And in fact, let's just jump over there. So here's the actual core itself. And it would not have any core rule for sales. In fact, we should make that blank for, or that not display for you. Sorry, it should say is a core, actually. So we would want this labeled as is a core. So when this was set up, that's how it should have been set up, is this is a core. So I'm just going to hop back now to here. And there is one more field that appeared. I don't know if you noticed or not, but up here now we have the core charge right underneath of your sales price. So you know that the total price for this item when you're selling it is going to be $645 plus $250 for the core charge. So that, again, I'll show you if the core SKU is not in here, if I delete that, there is no core charge here because there is no core associated to it. But as soon as you associate it, oops, now it pulls in the core charge, which is going to match the sales price of the core itself here. Okay, so that is how the that's how the cores are being managed when you're editing or creating a product. And then there is also a little bit of magic when you're creating a sales order or a quote, and the cores are also automatically associated there for you. So I'm going to show you what that looks like, but I'm going to do that in a separate video.